Well, we had this large beast just arrive here this morning. Don't know where he came from, don't know where he's been, but apparently he's here now, so that was a bit of a weird thing to find in your yard in the morning. Where have you been, mate? Yeah, you want to go home, I bet you. We put in the feelers out around town to see who owns him. We're only a couple of k's from the town here, so he must have come from somewhere. But anyway, we're harvesting barley in the paddock by the house today, so let's go. This morning was to get enough barley out of this paddock here basically to finish filling our 80-ton upright silos over the road. So I think I've got enough there now. Now what we're going to do now is change over and go and reap the Faba beans. The price of the beans has gone through the roof over the last week, so if they'll go, if they're ripe enough to harvest, we're going to get in and have a go at them. So we're going to change what I need to over on the machine. We'll go over and take a sample. So I'll just go in and I'll harvest a little bit. We might take a bucket full to the silo and get a moisture test and see what sort of grade it's going. There's only two grades really. It's either feed or food grade with beans. And if it doesn't go either of those, then they're undeliverable, and then I've got a big problem. So hopefully they're not doing that, but I think that should be enough there to get that silo filled. So all we've got left around the house here now is 20 hectares of barley up in the next paddock, but basically we're just sitting back waiting for the feedlotter to say when they want more, and we're just going to harvest it basically for them. The weather's looking good, there's no rush really to get it off. That's really all there is left here, so it can sit there and we can get the beans and the rest of the wheat off in the meantime. So we'll yeah, do some shuffling around I think. Just going to blow the worst, or the bulk of the barley out of the grain tank down into the bottom, so I can auger it out with a few beans and just make sure that we haven't got any barley with the beans when we go to deliver it. Well, I'm glad that's done. Sure would be a shame if I got in there and the moisture was too high in the beans. I had to do that again. Now the one thing I find annoying about setting this machine to Faba beans is I don't really have a setting for Faba beans. I have edible beans. I don't know, edible beans edible, is that Faba beans? I guess so. I don't really know. It'd be nice if they had one that said Faba beans settings. Beans, edible. That's the best that I can come up with. Feed accelerator low, done that. Threshing speed 300 to 350. Okay, chaffer, put that down to 14. Fan speed. There. We're going to crank him up to 1,000. Alright, let's shift paddocks. Right, Alright, let's have a look what we're dealing with here. They're going to be very, very hit and miss. That one's been chewed out by an insect. There's a few wrinkly looking ones like that. It's a little bit discoloured, but then you get ones like this, really badly stained beans. They definitely will not go top grade if there are too many like that. Getting the odd cracked one too like that, I might need to slow my rotor down a little bit more. Yeah, overall, considering how much rain they had on them, they're looking pretty decent, but won't know till we take a sample to the silo. Right, off to the silo we go. Oh man, it feels so weird to be away from the farm. Like driving out of the town, I was like, this just feels foreign at the moment because it's just been like 2 weeks straight of just the farm, in the header, the farm, non-stop. So yeah, anyway, now well, here we are. Vetch here at Gladstone. I'll go drop it off. Alright, well, I have delivered that. They're going to do a full test on it when they get a moment. It is the absolute worst time of the day because, you know, every man and their dog is bringing grain in at the moment, and when some bloke just comes in wanting a sample, it's kind of the last thing on their mind, or the last thing that they want to do. They just want to get the trucks in and out. So I got the moisture checked, and that was at 10.4, so that's well within limits. I think it's up to 14% on beans, so no problems there. We can go home, get into them, at least I know the moisture's right, and then it's just going to be luck of the draw. Every truck that goes in depends where they take the sample from. Maybe they'll go well, maybe they won't. We'll find out. Alrighty guys, I am just plugging away here at the moment. Had a phone call from the silo about the sample on my beans, and they said that they would go the top grade, except they have too much vetch in them. Now, vetch hasn't been grown in this particular paddock for, this will be the 3rd year that it hasn't had vetch in here, but the problem with vetch seed is it's really, really hardy, and it can just lay dormant in the ground. So years later you just keep getting germinations of vetch. So I don't know what the price difference is between the two grades, but I'm suggesting that it's probably significant. I think we might have to do some more sampling and see how much vetch is really in here, if we just got unlucky with that one sample or what. Yeah, we might need to clean all these beans before we deliver them. Try and clean the vetch out, because the beans are big and the vetch is very, very small. So now, I said to the woman on the phone that my main concern was the staining on the seeds. Now, she said that the staining only came in at just around 2%, which is well within the allowable specifications. So, yeah, I guess very lucky there. She said for what they've seen this year from Faba Beans, these look absolutely beautiful. So, that's a win. That's a win, because it's a very good price for these beans at the moment. Getting more samples. It's one of those things though, it's like luck of the draw, you know, like they probe it in the right spot and they pick up a whole heap of vetch.
Over a litre. Do a retest, because I'm pretty sure there's one.
Oh, it's just amazing for the amount of vetch that you see while you're harvesting, there's that much in the sample.
You gotta remember that the size difference counts. 3. When it comes to yield wise, you get this many beans off a plant.
Yeah.
That many beans, vetch off a plant.
Yeah.
Another test out of some different stuff. And,
yeah.
There we go. Later on.
Alrighty, so what me and Dad were doing then was we were taking a litre of grain out, tipping it out, and we were looking to see how many vetch seeds we could find per litre of beans, because that's what they do at the silo. They take out what we thought was a litre. That's where we were wrong though. It's not, it's a half a litre. And if they find more than 4 vetch seeds in the beans in half a litre, then you get downgraded. Now, we did 8.5 litres, and we came up with 3.8 seeds, vetch seeds, per 8.5 litres of beans. So in that scenario, we should be well and truly within spec. I think we may have just been unlucky with that sample that we took in. Who have we got here? This looks like trouble. He's telling my viewers that this looks like a bit of trouble on the way.
I'm still wearing your dad's slides. I was meant to change my shoes when I ran out of the house.
By the way, I feel terrible because you just had to climb up the stairs holding her. I normally grab her, but you know, YouTube things.
And I did it in slides.
You did it in slides, well done.
Got some snacks for Dad?
Oh, thank you.
And we got toasted sandwiches for Dad?
Trying to make me fat?
For Dad?
Oh, Ta, thank you. You want some of this?
That's it, probably go.
Okay. Yeah, you can have some. Beans. Oh.
Beans. Can you say beans? Beans.
Say bye. I helped you down this time. Always nice, but always manic having a toddler in the cab. Well, I kind of feel like these beans are going to be almost probably the disappointment of the season. I was sort of hoping that they were going to go 2 tonne to the hectare. I'm pretty doubtful though now. I don't know, I've nearly filled 2 field bins, 65 hectares, so there's already 60 tonne there. And I've only done 24 hectares, but I know that when we seeded these, we made a serious error. We seeded the bottom half of the paddock at about 1.5 times the seeding rate, and the top half at a lot less than what we should have seeded it at. So yeah, I know the top end of the paddock's not too good, but the bottom end is quite good, and I know it's just going to thin out the more we go across it. So once I'm full up again, I'm going to run down there to the silos and dump a bit over a grain tank full into one of the seed silos there, and that'll be my bean seed for next year. Because, well, maybe I'm silly enough to grow them again next year, I don't know. Oh, feels good to stretch the old pins. Now, which one of these old beauties is empty? Full? Full? Empty. That moment when you realise you don't fit. Guess I'll be harvesting my seed tomorrow morning then. Well, that was just a little bit annoying. Looks like we're going to have to do it the old-fashioned way and bring the truck out and harvest into that, and then take that back and tip that into the seed silo. All that being said, guys, I'm going to leave this video here. Thanks for joining me today. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm just going to leave you guys with a little bit of drone footage that I'm going to take tomorrow morning, obviously, because I've been too busy today. So thanks for joining me. Have a good one. See you next time. it is, folks, that time of the day. And if you were going to say time for a beautiful sunset through a filthy window, you'd be 100% correct.